So shall we wait for a few minutes for some people to join us?
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Okay, so hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to our Developers Technical Talk live session. Thank you for joining us today. So I believe that we might have some new attendees, so let me briefly introduce our weekly DTT. So basically our DTT technical talks are designed to introduce Huawei Cloud services. And in this talk, we are going to cover a wide range of topics on a weekly basis, all related to Huawei Cloud. So for today's session, we will dig deeper into Huawei Cloud Compute and storage services with our global expert, Zainab Kujur. So just don't forget to share the link with your friends to join us. And let's all get ready for another enlightening session. Feel free to ask questions and we will make sure to answer at the end of the session. And also stay focused for the fun part. We have prepared a special giveaways for you. And this time winner could be you. So enjoy. Hello, Zainab.
Hello, Kristen. Thank you for...
Yeah, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for inviting me. So I will start with sharing my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
So today we are going to have the second DTT, and this week's topic is Huawei Cloud Fundamentals, Compute Storage and Network. But today we will cover compute storage, and then next week we will cover network, and then also we will have a hands-on lab next week. I would like to introduce myself again if we have newcomers. So I'm Zainab Kujur, and I work as cloud expert at Huawei Cloud. Let's start with compute cloud services. We know that what a compute resource is. So it's a measurable amount of computing power that can be requested, allocated, and used for a compute activity. And a computing cloud service is a service or a product that can provide resources on demand anytime on cloud. And here are Huawei Cloud's sum of compute services. We will start with ECS. And then we will continue with IMS, AS, BMS, CCE, and other compute services of Huawei Cloud. So let's start with what an Elastic Cloud Server is. And an Elastic Cloud Server is a cloud server which consists of virtual CPUs, memory, elastic volumes, disks, and other required resources. And ECSs allow for on-demand allocation and elastic scaling, and we can simply call it a scalable virtual server. So the Elastic Cloud Server, ECS, it is reliable, it is secure, and easy to use. It automatically shifts from faulty to functional hosts for high availability and uses security measures like isolation and free protection for security. Plus, it's also scaling, allows for real-time adjustments to server specs and bandwidth, and it is all managed from a central console for simplicity. Here are the steps to buy an ECS. We configure basic settings, which is billing mode, region, AZ, CPU, architecture, specifications, image, host security system, disk. We will see these in next slide, so I will continue with next slides. But here is the basic scenario to buy a ECS. So these are the initial steps of purchasing an ECS. You set region, and then billing mode. We have yearly, monthly, pay-per-use, and spot price. And then you set AZ. And maybe you're wondering what is billing mode. ECS offers 3 billing modes, but spot price is actually not available in in some regions. It's available in some regions. So yearly or monthly, it is a prepaid and cost-effective for long-term usage. So if you're planning to use, your ECS for a long term, I advise you to buy it yearly. And if it's more suitable for you to buy it monthly, do it monthly. And for pay-per-use, it's a postpaid system where you're billed based on how often and long you use the service. And in spot pricing billing mode, you can purchase and use ECSs at a discount price. A spot ECS performs as well as ECSs with the same specifications in billing modes. But however, when inventory resources are insufficient or the market price increases and exceeds your expected price, the system will automatically release your ECS resources and reclaim the ECSs. So you should, use it by knowing this. And like I said, not all regions have spot price billing mode. So what a region is? A region, regions in the cloud are grouped by geographic location to optimize network latency. So you should, buy your compute resource based on the location that you are in. And all public services like ECS, EBS, OBS, VPC, Elastic IP, and IMS are region specific, and it's best to choose the closest region to ensure faster access and reduce latency. So an availability zone, if we come to it, or AZ, it has multiple physical data centers, and each one comes with its own cooling, fire safety, and power systems to ensure continuous operation. Within each EZ, resources like computing, network, and storage are grouped into clusters for better performance and reliability. And as we see here, AZs are inside the region. So you have one region, and then inside the region, you can have multiple AZs, and it is better for having high availability. So if you come to the other step of buying an ECS, you should select a subnet. Firstly, you select a VPC, and then your subnet and your security group for the ECS. Let's say you have your resources inside and you want to limit the inbound and outbound. This is where you do it. And for the advanced settings, you put your ECS name here and your login mode. We have 2 different login modes. You can do it with password, or you can do it with SSH key pair. And then you can also configure cloud backup and recovery for your safety. And what about the ECS grouping and anti-affinity? An ECS group lets ECSs in the group be spread out across different hosts. So this setup uses anti-affinity rules to avoid all ECSs being on the same physical machine. Let's say you want to, secure your architecture. You want to have a high availability. You should put your ECSs in different physical servers. And the way to do it is using anti-affinity option of ECS. And if your ECS is not responding to your needs anymore, you can modify the specifications. And for example, you can add more CPU or memory. So you shouldn't, worry about, let's say you bought an ECS and it doesn't respond to your needs anymore. You don't have to, buy another one. You can just, modify it up. And for resetting the ECS password, if the ECS password is lost, you forgot it, or it has expired, it can be reset using the one-click password reset plugin pre-installed on ECSs, but if it is created from public images. You should enter the new password and confirm it, then restart the ECS to apply the changes. So this ensures secure access to your services without significant downtime. So don't worry if you forgot your password, only if you created it from a public image. So let's continue with IMS, which is Image Management Service. What is IMS? The Image Management Service helps you manage the life cycle of your images, whether they're public, private, or shared. You can create an ECS or BMS image directly from a running instance or use an external file. And features like sharing images between accounts or replicating them across regions are supported. You can also export these images to OBS buckets for secure storage. So you can create an image from an instance or data disk, as you see here. You can export images to OBS bucket, which is Huawei Cloud's object storage service. And you can create instances from your images. Let's say you're applying auto scaling to your system and you want to create new ECSs, you can just do it from your own image. And the advantages of using the image management service are very significant. It's very convenient. You can create a private image from an ECS or an external file and reuse any existing image to spin up new ECS instances, just like I mentioned now. And it's also quite flexible, allows you to manage images easily through either the console or APIs. And importantly, it's secure, maintaining multiple copies of your images. It ensures high reliability. And finally, it provides uniformity, allows you to deploy or upgrade applications consistently across different environments. So, the way you can create an IMS is very versatile. You can create private images using ECSs, data disks, external ISO files, or even from cloud backup recovery points. Once you create these images, you can use them to set up new ECSs or BMS instances. And this makes it super easy for you to standardize and scale deployments. As you can see, you can create from BMS, ISO file, ECS, CBR, image file, data disk. And IMS supports a variety of operating systems like Ubuntu, CentOS, Debian, and others. It allows you to do a lot with your images. You can create them, replicate them, export them. You can encrypt your images, share your images, modify your images. You can also tag your images. So this flexibility helps you manage and scale your operations efficiently. And what about the scenarios? Imagine you're launching a new tech startup focused on developing custom analytics tools. So instead of setting up the operating system, middleware, and application stacks from scratch on your ECS, you can use our service IMS. You will start by selecting a pre-configured image from the marketplace that already includes whatever you need, like Linux OS, Python, and necessary libraries for data analysis. You can create an ECS from this image that you got from the marketplace, and you can just, right away start what you want to do. You can start coding and deploy your analytics tools right away without dealing with the underlying infrastructure setup. Imagine if you didn't have this image, you would have to do all of these necessities by yourself, and it would take so much time. So this is freeing you up. This is freeing your time up. And in another scenario, you can also use, IMS for backup purposes. You can create an image from an ECS to backup the ECS. If the ECS breaks down for some reason, you can use this image to restore it. Let's continue with auto scaling. Auto scaling is essentially a system that automatically adjusts the number of instances in response to demands. You set rules known as auto-scaling policies, and these determine how and when to scale resources up or down. And this saves you the hassle of manually adjusting capacity, which can be both time-consuming and costly. And it's particularly useful during traffic spikes because it ensures that your application remains stable and responsive without overcommitting resources. So you create an auto-scaling group, and then you create a policy, and auto-scaling automatically scales out ECSs for you. Here's an example. Auto-scaling comes into play, especially during events like 11/11 Shopping Festival. It handles sudden spikes in traffic and adjusts server capacity in real time. And without auto-scaling, you would either overspend on capacity because you wouldn't be able to guess how much capacity you would need, or it would, so it would go under provision and then crash during peak times. So auto scaling adapts automatically and ensures efficiency and scalability without manual intervention. And here are the configuration of policies. You can configure an alarm policy or a scheduled or periodic policy. For alarm policy, you can set alarms based on specific metrics like CPU usage, memory usage, disk activities, or network traffic. And when these metrics breach predefined thresholds, the system reacts by either scaling up or down. And for configure scheduled or periodic policy, this allows you to plan resource changes ahead of time based on predictable load variations, such as increased website traffic during specific hours or days. So if we continue with BMS, let's see. Bare metal server, as I mentioned last week, it provides dedicated physical servers in single tenant environments. So when you buy a BMS on Huawei Cloud, we dedicate a physical server just for you. But this physical server does not have a virtualization technology on it. It provides excellent computing performance and data security for core databases, key application systems, and high-performance computing. It also offers the high scalability of a cloud-based service. Like I said, BMS provides you with an isolated physical server reserved just for you. And here are the comparisons between BMS, ECS, and a physical server. We know what a physical server is. It is a traditional server. And for BMS and ECS, we know BMS is exclusive, but ECS is shared. ECS is, a physical server having virtualization on top of it, and then there are many virtual servers created, which is ECS. So BMS is exclusive, ECS is shared. And if you are going to have mission critical applications or services that require high performance, I recommend you get a BMS. But if you're going to have general purpose and specific services, you can get a ECS. BMS is flexible and ECS is also flexible. So here's a quick rundown of what we're looking at with this core database scenario. On the left, we've got ECS cluster that's connected to the internet, and these ECSs use EBS storage. And there's a link to OBS for object storage. Now on the right side, we see a BMS cluster. BMS, or bare metal server, handles critical database services that need dedicated resources, and because of security and performance needs. This setup ensures that services aren't just running on virtual machines, but have their own physical servers. So essentially, for really key database functions, we are looking at BMS because it provides the isolation, dedicated resources, and the performance that we need. And let's continue with Cloud Container Engine. Cloud Container Engine is Huawei Cloud's robust Kubernetes service. It lets you deploy, manage, and scale your containerized applications efficiently. And this is perfect for any enterprise that is aiming to modernize and streamline their application development and management on the cloud. And Cloud Container Engine, it is very user-friendly. It's easy to use. You can quickly create, manage, and scale Kubernetes clusters directly from the console. It's designed for high performance with bare metal servers and is fully compatible with Kubernetes standards. Plus, it ensures your deployments are both scalable and secure, and critical for maintaining service availability and reliability. So let's quickly run through the key concepts of CCE, or Cloud Container Engine. First, we are looking at cluster. This is basically a collection of resources like servers and load balancers you need to run your containers. Second, we are looking at a pod. It's a group of one or more containers that share storage and network resources. They're like teammates working closely together. Next, we're looking at a node. That's actually a server, either a virtual machine or a physical machine where your containers run. And if you look at the service, this is an abstraction that groups several pods into a single unit. Makes it easier to manage access to them, sort of like a microservice. And container, simply put, is a running instance of an application packed in a Docker image. And the image, well, think of it as a blueprint for a container, containing everything it needs to run. So we covered the basic concepts for the CCE. Let's take a quick look at what Otis cluster scaling means in the context of CCE. So the idea here is pretty straightforward. CCE automatically adjusts the number of servers in your Kubernetes cluster based on how much work there is. If there's a lot going on and you need more power, it adds servers. If things calm down, it scales back. And this is great because it's flexible. You've got different policies that kick in under specific conditions, and it's all automatic, happening within seconds. It's also reliable since it keeps an eye on the health of your servers and replaces any that aren't doing well. Plus, you only pay for what you use, and you keep costs down this way. Let's continue with other Huawei Cloud Compute services. And after we finish our compute services, we will have a quiz, as you know from last week, known as Kahoot. And like Kristen mentioned before, we will give surprise gifts to the winners. So if we continue with a dedicated host. Dedicated host is a physical server fully dedicated for your own services. Dedicated host allows you to ensure performance by keeping compute resources isolated. So dedicated host is just like BMS, which is bare metal server, but dedicated host has a virtualization technology. So it says physical server just for you, but it has virtualization technology. And what about Function Graph? Function Graph is a serverless compute service. So you don't have to manage the server. It lets you run your code without worrying about the server. You just upload your code and set when it should run. And Function Graph handles everything else. It's designed to be always available and automatically scales with your needs. And the cool parts, you only pay for the time your code is running. No charges when it's not active. So this is super efficient and cost-effective for managing cloud functions. All right, let's have the first round of questions. I will show the QR soon. All right. So here is the QR. You should scan it. I will wait for 5 minutes for people to join and scan the code. If you are not able to scan, you can just put the login code, the game pin, which is 522964. Yes, so please write your real name, your next we will ask you to, contact us on our WhatsApp group. We will show you the QR link for our WhatsApp. And if you win, you will contact us and tell your address and your name so we can send you the gift. All right, let's wait a few minutes more. I'm excited for the game. We have 24 people registered now. So if anybody doesn't know how the game works, it's not good enough that you only that you respond correct to the question. You have to be the fastest one to win the high score. So the person who responds the fastest gets to be the number one. All right, if anybody is not ready, they can comment, and I will wait a bit more. We have 2 questions, and each question has 4 options. Can people who write, can everybody write their real name? So are you guys ready? If you're ready, I'm gonna start the game. We have 27 registered. All right, 1 more minute and then I will start. All right, let's start then. There's still people coming. Okay, 28. Let's start. Which Huawei Cloud Compute service does not have virtualization technology? All right, we have 11 people who answered right. Congratulations to them. And are you ready for the second question? I will skip to the second question. Necati Tetik, congratulations. What allows ECSs in an ECS group to be distributed across different hosts? All right, only 6. Guru, you are the real guru, yes. Congratulations. Okay, at the end of this session, we will share our QR codes, and in there you will see our WhatsApp QR code. I am asking you please to, contact us on WhatsApp. All right, so let's continue, and we will have our second round of Kahoot at the end of the second session, which is the storage services. Okay, 1 second. I'll close this. So let's continue. Sorry, 1 second. Having a bit of a problem. All right, so if we continue with our storage services, we will start with EVS. But firstly, let's talk about enterprise requirements for block storage. By the way, am I muted? Not right. Let me check. No, I'm not muted. Okay. So if we continued with the enterprise requirements for block storage, basically there are three main needs: high performance, high reliability, and high security. And to meet these needs, there are various features like share disks, snapshots for data backup, and encryption for security. Also, there is storage disaster recovery, APIs for integration, monitoring, and options for expanding capacity and changing disk types. All these features help businesses maintain a strong and flexible storage setup. Oops. Sorry. My mic is on. So what was I saying? I was saying that all these features help businesses maintain a strong and flexible storage setup to support their operations. And our solution for these requirements is EVS. So Elastic Volume Service is pretty much scalable block storage for cloud servers. It offers high reliability and performance, and you can use EVS disks for things like distributed file systems, development environments, data warehouses, and even high-performance computing applications. It's compatible with Elastic Cloud Servers, ECSs, that I have just mentioned in the previous session, our most basic compute service, and bare metal servers, the one with no virtualization technology, the one that provides you physical servers. And with EVS, you can attach disks to servers, create backups, new disks, restore data, and take snapshots. It's flexible and fits various needs in cloud environments. There are different EVS disk types for different performance needs. Those are extreme SSD, general purpose SSD, ultra high I/O, general purpose SSD, and high I/O. And what about shared EVS disks? Shared EVS disks are block storage devices that can handle concurrent read-write operations and connect to multiple servers. They offer multiple attachments, like we see here, and high concurrency, high performance, and reliability. Usually, they're used in enterprise business critical applications that need high availability through cluster deployment. And this means multiple servers can access the same shared EVS disk at the same time. So all these ECSs are, sharing one single EVS disk. Let's continue with object storage service. So what is object storage? It is suitable for storing files of any type. It's generally used in large-scale data storage scenarios, such as massive content on the internet. like videos, pictures, photos, books, audio-visual magazines, etc. Web disk, digital media backup, and archiving. Think of it as a place where you can store loads of data easily. It's secure, reliable, and cost-effective. OBS is made for internet access using HTTPS-based web services. You can access your data anytime, anywhere. It has a flat structure and isolates data between different users. So you create your buckets to organize your data, upload or download files, and share data using links. Simple and effective for large-scale needs, for data needs. Like we mentioned the IMS service in the compute session. So you can, create an image and store it in our OBS. So if we talk about OBS lifecycle management, you got 3 types of storage here: standard storage, infrequent access storage, and archive storage. The standard storage, this one's got the highest price, but gives you the fastest access. So it's good for data that you need often. And for infrequent access storage, it's cheaper per unit, cheaper than standard storage, but more costly than archive storage. It will cost more if you need to access it a lot. And the archive storage is the cheapest one here, but you don't, you need to restore data before you can access it. It's ideal for stuff you don't need regularly. Think of it like moving, think of this like moving data from hot to cold, depending on how often you need it, which makes managing financial, data efficient and cost effective. And I will mention about OBS versioning. OBS versioning means every time you make changes to an object, a new version is saved. So this helps in keeping track of changes and recovering previous versions if needed. It's a good way to ensure data integrity and to avoid accidental deletions. So you saved, and this is your version 1, version 2, version 4. You want to go back to the first version, you can go back. Let's talk about our bucket policies. These policies let the owner control access to the bucket. You can set who can read or write data and how they can access it. It's all managed centrally based on different elements like actions, principles, and even IP addresses. You see here, we can set our permissions, like we can set only I can see it and others not, or we can, set that, others can also see it. We can access control with bucket policies. And let's continue with our scalable file service. So scalable file service allows you shared file access across your ECSs, BMSs, and containers on ECS. It's a high performance NAS file storage. You can manage and access SFS via the management console or by sending HTTPS requests. And it's designed for scalability and high performance. So SFS has several key functions. It works in various system environments like CentOS, Red Hat, and Ubuntu. And ECS instances can access file shares across different AZs. And storage capacity can grow or shrink based on demands, and this allows for dynamic scaling without interrupting the services. Additionally, a file system can be exclusively shared by ECSs in a designated single VPC. So here is we see a diagram, and I'll tell you what's going on in the diagram. It's showing a setup where different ECS instances, as you see here, are spread across 3 availability zones: AZ1, AZ2, and AZ3. And these instances are all connected to a shared file system, which is SFS, within a virtual private cloud, VPC1. And this setup ensures high reliability, low latency, high bandwidth for accessing shared documents, without worrying about the underlying hardware. So they're all, sharing an SFS. They're sharing the files. Let's continue with our backup and recovery service. We saw this option while purchasing ECS. So what is CBR? CBR, or Cloud Backup and Recovery, it is a service that helps you back up various resources like ECS, BMS, EVS disk, and SFS turbo file systems. It's also good for local files and on-premises VMware environments, VMware virtual environments. And if something goes wrong, like a virus attack or accidental deletion, you can use these backups to restore your data to any point in time when it was backed up. So it's about keeping your data safe and being able to recover when needed. And our CBR supports one-off backup and periodic backup. A one-off backup is created manually and runs just once, and periodic backup runs automatically based on policy you set. So it's put in a vault and you store it in OBS. Here is the scenario. You can use CBR, Cloud Backup Recovery, to restore data quickly if something goes wrong. Let's say if there's a hacker attack, accidental deletion, update, or system breakdown. As you see here, you can use CBR with ECS, BMS, EVS, and SFS Turbo. All right, before we have our next round of Kahoot, I will, go through this second part, which is storage again, so we have more competition. Okay, we started with EVS. We talked about what EVS is. I said that EVS is our block storage for cloud servers. And these are the disk types for EVS. And what a shared EVS is, you can share a disk through ECSs in a cluster. And what object storage services, and the object lifecycle management, our object storage service types: standard storage, infrequent access storage, archive storage. We have OBS versioning, I said. We have bucket policies. We can set permission settings. And for scalable file service, we have SFS. And for CBR, I said that CBR is our cloud backup and recovery service. And I said that it enables you to back up ECSs, BMSs, EVS disks, and SFS turbo file systems. And we have two backup options, one-off backup and periodic backup. So let's continue with our second round of questions. All right. Again, I'm excited. Here's our game pin. If you want to join us from your desktop, you can through the game pin, or you can scan the QR code with your phone. So I will respond to Art Bashar. The gift is a surprise, so I will not spoil the surprise. "26 registered. I will wait a few minutes more. Next week, we will talk about network services, and we will do a hands-on lab. We will also have a Kahoot again. Each week, we have Kahoot. 29 registered. All right, if you're all ready, King is back. All right, so I will start in 1 minute. So as I said, the quickest person wins, not the one that responds right. You have to respond right and also be the quickest. So let's start. So many people. Restore service allows you to backup and restore data easily in case of a system breakdown or accidental deletion. All right, we have 16 correct answers. I congratulate all of you, and let's see who was the quickest. Congratulations, Hakan Arslan. All right, let's see the second question. Which service provides scalable high-performance file storage with shared file access across multiple servers? Fourteen correct answers. I congratulate all of you. And are you ready to see who is the winner? Congratulations, EB and Onur Çetin. And the winner, Hakan Arslan. Congratulations. So, like I said, here is our QR codes. To register to Huawei Cloud, you can scan this. And to register to our Instagram page, you should scan this. And for our Facebook, this. And to contact us for your gifts, you should scan the QR code for our WhatsApp. Fast and Furious. So thank you all for joining us today. I hope you gained valuable insights and remembered this is just the beginning of your Huawei Cloud tech journey. And if you have further questions, you can reach out to us on our WhatsApp group, also on Instagram, Facebook, and make sure you are following us on these social media accounts. And until next time, stay curious and keep on innovating. And remember, next week we're gonna have a hands-on lab, and get ready for our next round of Kahoot next week. Bye for now.